What's up, people? Is your Jeep undercooling? Are you not reaching operating temp? Well, let me show you one of the best hacks that a lot of Jeep people do. That is called removing that fan clutch. Yes, you're going to completely take out your mechanical fan clutch. Let me show you how. All right, everybody, here we are back with another video. This one's going to be a relatively short one. It's a cold day out here. Speaking of cold, this Jeep is not quite getting up to its operating temperature. It's got a brand new thermostat, brand new radiator. It was just running a little bit cold today, so I decided I'd go ahead and do an upgrade that I wanted to do for a while. As you can see, I've already deleted the electric fan over here. I plan on putting in some aftermarket electric fans. And hopefully you guys can see me better today and you can see exactly what we're working on. My wife was gracious enough to give me her Kindle stand that I can use as like a camera mount. So we're going to progressively look a little more and more professional in these videos. And you guys will actually be able to see the actual work I'm doing today, unlike the other day when I installed this here MSD coil rail, which is still doing great. However, I did get an engine code back today about that cylinder 1 misfire that's coming from this injector here. But for right now, let's get into it. And I'm not going to lie to you, to avoid some struggles on camera like the other day with these heater core hoses, I went ahead and cracked one of these nuts off just to make sure I could do it and didn't struggle on camera. But this is a super simple job, and all you're going to need are super simple tools, as in like this very long flathead screwdriver right here. It could also be a Phillips head, but the point is it needs to be a long sturdy screwdriver, and you're going to need a 1/2 inch wrench. Unfortunately, I do not have a very long one, and again, that's kind of the point of this channel. You know, we're doing things as anybody would do with very minimal tools, with no shop and stuff like that. So this is the very redneck backyard way of doing things. And I'm going to do something that I don't necessarily recommend, but, you know, if you're experienced enough in the automotive world, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, we're dropping our wrench, and let's do some editing magic, and ta-da, like it never happened. All right. Anyway, I don't really need to say anything to any real mechanic. You know what's about to go down here, okay? So... like I said, this first one I've already gotten cracked off, so I'm gonna take this off here by hand. Once you get it cracked off, they come off by hand very easily. So we're gonna hold that right here. If you really wanted to, you could probably get in here with a small ratchet. I just don't have a small enough ratchet. I use a lot of big tools, you know, so we're gonna lock our wrenches together like this. Sometimes it may take a minute to get your configuration, but you basically want to make like a cheater bar with these here wrenches. And I'm gonna put it on this one. And do not try to convert this standard to metric. Sometimes you can do that. A 1/2 inch wrench will sometimes convert to what would be a 12 millimeter. It doesn't work for these fan bolts because a 13 is too big and a 12 is too small. So the porage is just right with the 1/2 inch. So make sure you got that in there. And like I said, once we've got it cracked off, it's pretty much, or it should be, kind of hand tight. If not, then you could, if you have a small wrench like this, then you could just kind of get it off. And honestly, most of you probably do have a normal size 1/2 inch. Most of you probably don't have to do the double wrench method, which honestly is okay for small nuts like this. That's like when you're dealing with like heavier torque stuff that's really tight on there, then you're risking breaking knuckles and stuff with the double wrenching, but this should be just fine. And again, don't drop that stuff. I just bought some fancy magnets. I actually just bought some magnets that I should be using. Again, let me do a little bit of editing magic, and Bam. And that's how it's supposed to be. I can't believe I forgot all about these awesome tools. The magnets to reach through and pick things up. This little magnet tray. See, what did I even do with this? Bam. Bam, there's those right there, and they're not going anywhere. You could even put your wrenches on there. Things of that nature. So, anyway, I'm going to have those on standby for just in case that happens again. And now you will notice you're kind of to your second two bolts down there. So you're going to take your screwdriver, you're going to put it in there, and you'll turn your pulley.
Bruh.
It's okay if it turns a little bit, but I'll tell you right now, it is not going to turn that harmonic balancer. This is not enough force to be able to turn this 4.0. So just keep in mind, when you're turning it like that, you are slipping it on the harmonic balancer. It'll turn every one of your other accessories just fine. But, you know, the compression that these engines make, it's just not going to be... It's not good if you spin it around too much like that and it just kind of drags along that balancer. That will damage your pulley, which, as you can see, I need a new one anyway, so it'll buff. Alright, we're going to lock our wrenches together, take our screwdriver. Also, you know, I will mention, just in case anybody's curious, you know, because I don't ever expect you guys to do things the exact way I do. This can not only be a tutorial of how to just remove your fan clutch, this is a good tutorial of how to change it altogether. If you need to replace it, you know, tune into this video, check that out and how I'm doing this. It's super simple. It's only 4 bolts. The main thing is you just got to have something to hold it, so that way you're not spinning your belt and stuff. But what a lot of people do is they take this one off and they replace it with the one on a Grand Cherokee.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Hey guys, I wanted to send you a short message here from the studio/shop. I usually have a hard time finding parts and trying to source the actual place where they come from, links online, start chasing them down like a wild goose chase. So when I mentioned earlier in the video about a Grand Cherokee fan clutch swap or electric fans, I will find some links and put those down in the description. I'll link AutoZone and O'Reilly's Grand Cherokee fan clutch in there if you guys want to check that out. And then I will go through a few of the different electric fan setups that I have found, and I will link those in the description as well, as long as they have good reviews. Keep in mind, I have not bought any of those electric setups after this video. I do not have any fans at all on the Jeep, so I'm still looking for a nice electric fan setup, and the ones that I find with good reviews I will link down here so you guys can probably try them out and just kind of customize whatever setup you guys would like to have. So with that, let's get back to the video. A good rule of thumb, ooh, my neighbor just started up a 7.3 and that thing sounds good. Anyway, squirrel brain over here. A big rule of thumb about Jeeps and Cherokees and Grand Cherokees, you can put a lot of stuff from a Grand Cherokee, a ZJ, WJ on these Cherokees. I had mentioned in a previous video, and I will make a video of me putting Grand Cherokee CV axles in this. People swap out the fan clutch for a Grand Cherokee. A Grand Cherokee WJ power steering pump will fit in this just fine. You know, the steering tie rods and all that good stuff, they're almost like Legos, you know, they're so interchangeable. They're very, very interchangeable.
Well, it is versatile, so...
I'm going to turn this one more time just to get a good grip on that nut. Oh, as you can, I don't know if you can hear that, but that's my belt slipping off of that balancer. It's not happy, but it's all right. That was the last time I was going to do that to it. Okay, this is the last bolt here. Get it on there. Okay, screwdriver. And there we go. Alright, a couple more turns and this will be off. And as you probably notice, I don't have a fan shroud. Obvious statement I probably don't need to make, but if you have a fan shroud, take it off first. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. You will be thanking yourself in the end. Most projects, you know, the nature of the beast of automotive work and working on cars, 90% of your work is taking off other parts and getting them out of the way of your part that you need to replace. It's, you know, just how it is. We're getting this last one off here. Yep, it's finger tight. I'm pulling it off, and you just saw my fan pop right off. Now what I'm going to do to keep a nut from falling is I'm going to go ahead and hold this magnet right to it as I am taking it off. So that's a good practice if you do happen to have one of these. If you don't, man, they're like 15. I got this one for 15 bucks. I don't remember where I got it from. It's some kind of off-brand, you know. It doesn't have to be any brand. A magnet's a magnet, homie. All right, now be very careful. Do not puncture your radiator. I have a brand new radiator, so I need to be very cautious. Take that off, move it over here towards the middle. Careful wiggling around, and pull that sucker out. And there she is. You know, this thing's not bad, so this is gonna go on the spare part shelf. If I need it for summer, you know, when it gets warmer, I'm gonna keep it and I'll put it back on. Or honestly, I may not even put it back on. I think I will, if I really need the fan clutch, the electric, or this fan, I might just upgrade it to the Grand Cherokee. But that may not even be something that I do, because I believe that the aftermarket electric fans will work just fine for me. I do even still have my electric fan on my part shelf. And if you guys would like, I was thinking it would be an interesting video to do like a little shop/studio tour, because my shop in my basement, my workshop, you know, I have all my tools in there and set up, you know, all my outdoor stuff as well, what I have of that. But it's also going to be my YouTube studio for all my new videos and stuff like that. So, you know, if you guys want to see something like that, check it out. Stick around, of course. Now, I'm going to set this out of the way, and you're going to need to keep these bolts, because I'm sure you notice that pulley is loose. You cannot run it like that. It's gonna throw your belt. So we're gonna put all these bolts back on, and we're gonna do it the same way that we took them off. You're gonna need that screwdriver to hold that pulley to keep your belt from slipping. And it is, as you can see, a whole lot easier to put them on than it was taking them off, because obviously that fan is not in your way. So we're gonna put these on, and you guys are gonna see, watching my videos, I religiously am a freak of alternating bolt pan. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, wheel lug nuts. You saw it with the just the coil, the ignition coil, head bolts, any kind of bolt or fastener or nut. I hardcore truly believe you need to do it in an alternating pattern. That's just the best way to, you know, make sure everything is snugged evenly. It's just a good practice. And I don't know what it is about it. When you do small things like that, it just kind of makes you feel like a better mechanic. It makes you feel like you're really doing stuff right, you know. And these magnets and stuff, keeping your stuff organized, that is going to save you so much time. It's all these little things you don't think about. And see, that's kind of, I know that kind of seems a little controversial with my whole channel being backyard stuff and the most gritty, cutthroat ways of working on stuff. Not a lot of people have these small luxuries, but they're very cheap, you know. But my channel is about not having a huge shop and expensive tools. Get cheap tools, you know. Don't be afraid of cheap tools. Look at me. I have Walmart hyper tough wrenches right here. Sure, they're not the greatest. Sure, they're gonna break at some point, but they're doing just fine for me in the moment. And you know what? I I will do some more editing magic, and I'm gonna go see if I can actually find myself a 1/2 inch socket, because now I have access to this. So I will be once again right back. And voila. It is a it is a pretty bigger one, but since we don't have that awful fan and clutch in our way, we can reach this. Okay, so we are gonna snug them up as much as we can in that alternating pattern that I love so dearly. Let me not knock my camera over. You guys can finally see what I'm doing this time. Okay, and again, I am not snugging them up like completely, like super tight. We're gonna do it just like a lug nut. See, there goes my thing slipping. We're gonna do it just like a lug nut. We're gonna go one pass over them and just snug them up gently, and then I'm gonna actually, give it a good torquing with the screwdriver holding it down, because there it goes slipping. Put that screwdriver in there. Not too tight, because these are smaller, a little bit fragile, kinda, not really, but you just don't want to risk breaking it. That was just the screwdriver slipping. Yep. Okay. All right. We are all snugged up and good to go. And then we're going to start it up and make sure that it's not wiggling and wobbling. Make sure that we actually lined it up right. Yep, no wiggle. Sorry if I'm yelling, I just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. But there's no wiggle, nothing like that. Obviously it's probably going to creep up in temp a little bit, but if you know a 4.0, usually these things do like to run at about 200 to 210. Thankfully, mine actually runs about operating temp about 195. Except for today, whenever I made about an hour drive, or 2 hours round trip, it was a little bit undercooled. It never really hit 195. So this is going to be my solution for now. And I hope this helps some of you guys with something. Alright, so as you can see, the whole fan clutch is gone. It's spinning like it's supposed to. So we'll see. I will check back with you guys in a couple days on how it's doing temperature-wise. But this should help. Number one, it should help the undercooling problem, because it is wintertime. It's about, it can get super cold here in Southern Illinois. And also, it will not be robbing your motor of as much power, because they also do that. So it's kind of like an AC compressor delete or something like that. It's going to be less drag on your engine. That will save you in fuel economy, and that may boost maybe 1 or 2 horsepower. I can't really promise that. It's not something that you would do looking for horsepower, but it'll definitely be easier on your engine life. I will tell you that.
3 days later.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Jay here. I'm checking back in with you a couple days after the fan delete, just to tell you that it is running pretty good, just like I wanted it to. When I'm going highway speeds, it's hitting 195. However, when you're sitting idle for extended periods of time, it may hit about 200 to 210, which, like I said, for a 4.0 is completely normal. I think that's acceptable, and I'm very happy with the progress that I've made here. So yeah, like I said, I will still be putting electric fans on it at some point when I can find some, but for now, just figured I'd update y'all. All right, thank you guys for watching again. As you can see, we've gotten rid of that fan clutch. That MSD coil rail is looking awesome, matching my cold air intake and then my little PVC filter right there. I've come to the conclusion that I am going to sell some of these used parts that I'm taking off of the Jeep because I don't want them sitting around on my shelf. I'm sure some people could use them, and sometimes some of these Jeep parts can be pretty expensive, so I'm going to let them go at a good price. You know, I will ship to seller, just has to pay for shipping. I'm working on refurbishing that old coil rail, just giving it a nice cleanup. Everything you get will come clean. I'm not going to send it all dirty and rusty and looking like 26 years old. It'll look a little newer. But yeah, if you would like to, you know, get a hold of me on my Facebook page. I may also start an eBay store. Just depends on where the best place to sell them would be. But thank you guys for watching again. If you want to see more Jeep content, just tune in. I will try my best to upload a video, maybe every 2 weeks or something like that. Can't promise every week because I found out yesterday these videos take a long time to upload. So thanks again. See you later.